Aloha, mi amigos. Once again, this is Jacob K. Baker, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut out bump texture. Now, if you notice, I've got masking tape on my fingers, and the reason why I've got masking tape on my hands is because I am going to be using a different style of detailing. And instead of us using these guys, instead we will be needing this. And the reason why we're going for these heftier scissors is that instead of us carving the detail into foam, we're going to be cutting out big chunks, and you're going to want a bigger pair of scissors for this. And the masking tape is to prevent rubbing a blister into your fingers. And FYI, for those of you who have hairy knuckles, you might want to shave your hands first because peeling this stuff off and getting a hair caught in it hurts like there's no tomorrow. So yeah, shave your hands if you've got hairy knuckles, and definitely get some masking tape. Your hands will thank you, especially if you plan on doing like a long session of just carving out foam. Because when I get into a rhythm, I don't want to stop, so I'll be carving for hours and hours. And if I don't have any protection on my hands really do not like me in the following days. So yeah, make sure you keep your hands nice and safe. Now, another thing that you're going to want to use, because we're going to be using a thicker piece of foam, you're going to want a knife. And I will show you why in a minute. Now, we are going to want a piece of urethane foam. This is 2-inch thick. And to cut this, you can do it with scissors, but it takes a while and it leaves these weird jagged edges in it. So instead, what you want to use is the knife. And as you see, I have it already pre-marked, and I have it pre-marked because there are two different designs I'm going to show you. Now, design number one, I'll move this off the table, don't want to scratch my trailer. Design number one is going to be just a simple round bump. Now, this version of the skin texture, there's like an entire plethora of characters that you can use bumps on. If you're going with Kaiju, like I generally do, you know, the aforementioned Varan, Gilala, Gabara, and just so many other Kaiju have just these bumps. Now, as you can tell, this is it's a square, a big block. So this needs to be rounded out. That's where these guys come in. There. Now, of course, you just want to round these out. Now, when I round these out, I usually do 3 cuts. One to get rid of it, and then one on the remaining sides just to help smooth it out. And that, you know, gives it more of a rounded shape. But yeah. And, you know, this go by pretty quickly if you do this for long enough. So it's one of the joys of doing this for like a decade, is that I've gotten to the point where I can do this stuff pretty quickly. Now again, the same approach has to be taken on these ends. Now, as you'll notice, these are still kind of squared here, so, you know, just round these out some more. I'm trying to get this stuff in focus on the camera. Yeah, a lot of snipping involved. And yes, this will leave a tremendous mess. Sorry if my dialogue is kind of lacking here, but my brain kind of focuses in on what it is I'm trying to do, which is why I'm fairly certain I would make a terrible Let's Player. The idea has crossed my mind, but like I said, I tend to focus on stuff quite a bit. So, but yeah, it's rounded out. Well, probably round it out a little bit better, but for the sake of this video, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on here. Yeah, as you'll notice, it's kind of a ball instead of just a bump. That's why you just cut it in half like this. And now you got a couple bumps. And it helps to do these things in varying sizes. You can also do them in various shapes too. If you notice anything that I've ever done bump texture with, some of the bumps are shaped like wedges, and well, I just like to toss up the mix every now and then, just do something a little bit different. But yeah, this is these are just basic bumps. Now, I guess I'll just cover this now. If you're doing the Varan skin texture, the bumps, occasionally they have like this big indentation in them. And the reason why they have this indentation is that the guy who designed Varan's skin, he based the skin off of peanuts that had been eaten by moths. So that's why they had the big indentation in it, is it's where moths ate outside of the peanut. And you don't want to try and just, you know, cut a hole like this, or even like try and carve out this way. It's not going to look very good. So what you want to do is have your index finger here and your thumb and middle finger on each side of this, and you're going to want to push up. And also, while you're doing this, when you have your scissors prepared to cut, if you just cut like this, it's going to make this weird wedge shape. So what you're going to want to do is twist the foam while you're cutting, and it should make it look a bit more rounded. And I think I made a little too big of a piece here, but yeah, it's still got kind of a weird angle to it. But let's see, yeah, shading, don't know if you can really see that well. But yeah, it just needs to have this weird indentation if you wanted to go for Varan. Now, that's Varan skin texture. If you want to do Galala, and if you guys intend on doing Galala, man, I give you a lot of credit, because a lot of patience is going to be involved with that project. Because if you look at Galala's skin close up, it's not that he's just covered in all these bumps, but all the bumps also have these pores. And once again, we're bringing out our tweezers to once again do this mess. Yep. Kind of makes me think of a golf ball right now. But yeah, that's getting it more along the lines of what Galala's bumps look like. Now you can just do this anyway on your bump texture if you just want to add a little extra layer of detail. It's up to you. Alternatively, I mean, it's not going to give the porous shape like this, but you can also do kind of like what I was talking about on the Godzilla texture video, and put some powdered foam on top of it. It'll make it rough, but it's not going to give it this shape, but it is a way of giving it a type of texture instead of it just being the smooth-ish shape here. Now, the other kind of texture I'm going to show you is the literal peanut shape. And again, I like going off of a pattern. So let's see, round out the edges here. And there, peanut shape. Let me just trim these off here. It's weird, I'm trying to make sure that this is all in frame, but I kind of have to look at the foam while I'm carving it. So if it gets out of the camera, I apologize. But now these are rounded out. Now I've got to deal with this part. Now, logic would dictate that, oh well, you just simply cut like, you know, cut it at an angle. Now while you can do this, should have used a thinner piece of foam. There we go. Now, as you can tell, it kind of left this kind of, there we go. It left this jagged indentation. Now while you can round out these edges just fine, this part here you really can't round out as well. So what you want to do is similar to how we did the bump, or the indentation in this bump. You want to press it, there we go. Press in on the opposite side of the peanut, and bring your scissors to each side of where you marked it, if you marked it, and you cut it like so. And that actually makes it smooth and rounded. So that is the better approach. I mean, you can do it this way. It'll probably save you, might save you a little bit of time. I never really thought about the time aspect of it, but this definitely looks a lot better and makes it look more organic and instead of jagged. Because to me, the jagged aspect looks a bit more like something that had been crafted as opposed to something that was grown, if that makes any sense. Probably not. I tend to ramble, and things really make sense in my head that doesn't make sense to anybody else. Yeah, now we have our generic peanut shape. I'll round that out a bit more. There you go. Now again, we've got to round out the edges, which is the exact same process. You know, you just carve it, and then you go back around the edges just to help round it out. Actually, looking at this, I wonder if this is 3-inch foam. I never keep this stuff in one pile. I've kind of got it placed everywhere across the shop, so you know, because that's information you guys wanted. And there. That's, yeah, that's what we want. And then again, the opposite side. Now, if you use a thinner piece of foam, which you can, like I said, I'm probably should have actually used a smaller piece for this video. But the thinner piece that you use, like if I was to use like just a 1-inch thick piece or a 1/2-inch foam piece or 3/4 or whatever, you can only do like one bump. If you use a thicker piece like this, then you can actually carve out 2 at once. And while it really doesn't save you a whole lot of time, to me in my own head it seems like it does. I'm trying to make sense. You know, in the Godzilla video I said that this was an easier process. It might be easier, but man is it time consuming. But yeah, now we've got our weird peanut thing here. And just like the round bump, we, there we go. Cut it in half down the middle. And, yeah. Then I got 2 peanuts. Now you can kind of leave this one as it is, you know, where it's just this shape. But to add a little bit more of a characteristic to the peanut, one of the things that I like to do is actually like to bring it down a little bit right here in the middle, where instead of it just looking like it's just the one bump, it looks like two that have merged, or like cells that are dividing. Yeah, see, it just gives it a little bit more character. And it helps to, you know, break up the monotony of the same things, just looking the exact same all the time. Now again, you know, with these it kind of helps to give these the moth bite, as I call it. You know, again, you know, make sure to round the scissors. Dense! That's what it is. The foam's too dense. I should have used a less dense foam. But, yeah. So yeah, now you guys get to see all the joys of me trying to rack my brain around why the stuff isn't working the way it's supposed to. But yeah, see, it just... There you go. Moth bite and everything. Man, there was something else I was going to point out. Maybe it'll come to me later. But one of the fun things about the Varan bumps peanut thingies is that you can put these together however you want. You can do it like that, or like one in the middle. You know, this you'll have like the most fun just trying to find different ways to put it all together. But yeah, for some reason I love making these kinds of bumps. I don't know why. But I've used this on like Varan, the Kraid, and a couple of others. But now one of the things that it didn't really occur to me whenever I started doing this was stuff on a smaller scale. Read in the comment section. Don't worry, guys. So trying to do this stuff for a puppet. Let's see if I can show you guys a couple of different variants that I've done. Actually, let me do that later. But if you're going to be doing this for a puppet or just like a smaller bump texture, like if you're getting more on the hands, or you just, there's an area where you want the bumps to be a lot smaller than these hefty guys, then yeah, go about the same process essentially as the Godzilla skills. Make sure you carve one way and then you arc back the other way. I hope to God that this is educational to you people, because my commentary is certainly not entertaining. Which is why I look forward to doing a live demonstration of this at VisionCon. Which I guess is going to be the next video in the series, or at least on the channel. I'm actually going to be doing a demonstration on how I do this stuff in front of a group of people, which is something I've never done, trying to actually describe this in front of people. I have no problem talking in front of people. I used to be a speaker for many years. You know, when I used to be a counselor at a church camp, one of the things that I used to do is I actually used to get up and actually, you know, just give speeches. So, talking in front of people, not going to be a problem, but trying to talk to people while trying to get everything out in my head, that's going to be a lot of fun. And there you have the scissor method. There. Yeah. And because they're small, they're more rounded out than they would have been on a larger scale. But if you need to, you know, like I said, just go back over, round it out if need be. I mean, unless you want it to have the jagged look, that's perfectly fine. I like the jagged look. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do it with tweezers. Which again is essentially the exact same process, just with tweezers. My leg has officially fallen asleep. So I have to do the rest of this standing up. Wow, that's a weird sensation. Alright. And then like before, with the Godzilla texture, just plucking away at the top coat just to give it a more coarse texture. Which is something you definitely want to do if you're using tweezers, because it's kind of hard to round out like the edges of something that I've like cored. So if you're using the tweezer method, yeah, just got to make sure that you pluck out the very edges of your texture piece. Yeah, all this time and everything. Now you guys can understand my pain of trying to do this to cover a monster that's like 8 feet tall with a 10-foot tail. But yeah, see there? Autofocus, please, thank you. But yeah, side by side, there. Yeah, you can see the differences in the tweezers and the scissor version. But that's how you guys do it on a very small scale. I prefer doing the larger ones, but these have a bit of a fun value to them too. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the methods of making bumps. So yeah, catch you guys on the flip side.